Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. It is the first day that we can sit outside without being afraid of getting a shower. I had a very busy week, a couple of very busy weeks, which means that I had to study a lot. Here in Belgium, when you apply for jobs, you have to do a lot of testing and doing exams, and especially in my line of work, you have to do fake cases and stuff like that. And it took a whole lot of energy and a whole lot of time. I have 3 more days ahead of me that I have to do still. On Monday will be the heaviest one that I had so far. I had a thorough exam on last Monday, and I had one the Tuesday before. I had everything correct and still did manage to go through, and that's because it's election season. Muffin is outside playing, and I think she is trying to catch something. So I think some favors had to be given to other people that were in the exams. Now, the last 2 job applications aren't like that. So there's one that I really would like to do that has nothing to do with being a librarian, but has something to do with strategic thinking when it comes to make people connect who live in the countryside, in the Belgian countryside. So come up with new ideas to make the new people who live on the countryside more adjusted to the villages, and really make the new people connect with the villagers in a more harmonious way than they do now. It's like everybody is living on their own island right now, and that organization that I applied for is trying to do things differently. I applied on a Wednesday, they called me on the Friday, I went on the Monday for the first interview. An interview with the general manager that was only supposed to last for half an hour. It lasted 2.5 hours. I think his wrist is still hurting because of all the notes they took. And so that was a very good sign. And then they told me that they would call me this week if I would go further, but they already called me 2 days after, so way in advance. And the heavy testing is scheduled for Monday. Last Monday I did exams for a job as a librarian, but part-time, which is also very great, but part-time doesn't pay the bills, and it's very difficult to find an extra job as a part-timer because of a really weird flaw in the law, and they are not really willing to do something about it right away. So I want to do that job. If I don't have the other one, I will do the librarian job, that's for sure. Then I will have to do on top of that a call center job, which is very poorly paid, but it will pay the bills at least. But it will take away a lot of time to read and other stuff. Anyway, The that I think that exams went really well. I know that there are no political favors to be granted, so I have a fair chance. I know that I know somebody who works there who saw all the resumes of the contestants, and she told me that there are 4 very valid contestants, and all the others are people who really want to work in a library but don't really know how it works. So yeah, you have to know your stuff. It's not just saying I like to read books and I want to work in a library because I always wanted to work in a library. That's not enough. You really have to study, do like as I study and take your every free time and every time you can get to work as a free, as a, how you call it, vrijwilliger, volunteer in the library, so you can know the lingo, you can know what types of services they offer to schools and such, and especially because this is a position where the interaction with the schools is very important, and if you don't know anything about that, then you will struggle during an application exam. That was that, so that went well. I heard that 90% of the exams was horrible, but I know that everything that I answered was correct. You know, there can't be any discussion about it, so that's good. I just hope that they we also had to come up with an event, and I just hope that they liked my idea. If they don't like it, well, yeah, then it's my fault, and then I can live with that. But knowing, like in the other exams, you study so hard. That's like, yeah, I studied like 40-50 hours per exam, and I knew I had everything correct because you can verify, you know, there's no discussion about who won this award and who won that award. If it's correct, it's correct. And so I knew everything I filled in was correct. It was multiple choice, so that was easy. And the event that I proposed was correct. It was the only thing you can legally do right now for the future legislation. So yeah, so it was fishy. It was also funny that half of the people I saw on the previous exam were the same as I saw now in the village next door. So that was also funny. For the full-time job with where about the villages, we were like with 60 applicants. Only 10 were invited for a job interview, and only 3 are invited to do the thorough testing on Monday. And then the last 2 will go through to a final round where it's more verbally, you talk to the people, and yeah, I will have to do a presentation of my strategy that I foresee in the future. I love those things. I really love those things. Yeah, I thrive when I can do things like that. So yeah, I would love the job in the library, but the other one is more interesting, and it's a full-time job, and it's well paid, and it's easy to reach. It's not even 2 minutes from the train station. It's 10 minutes by train, 5 minutes by car to go to the train. So yeah, it's easy. So yeah, I'm really interested because they have a lot of challenges ahead of them. Politics are questioning the organization of them being still relevant, and I think that is, I told them, that is a fair question. It's not because you do things the same way for 30 years that they are still working and still relevant, and it will be a tremendous task to change that around. But I see it happening, and I see I can do something about it. But there are, yeah, the competition is extremely steep. Now, books. There's one book that I really want to talk about, and is this book I found. This is the Dutch version. Is by Pierre Lemaître, and it's called Blood Marriage or Blood Wedding. Blood Wedding, I think. Blood Wedding. Blood Wedding. This puts the thrill back into thriller. This is such a good book. Pierre Lemaître is a French author. He has won the Prix Goncourt with the beautiful Au revoir là-haut. I think it was called The Swindling Game or something in English. I will look that up for you, and will put it in the comments down below. I'm recording with my phone and not with my normal device, so it's a bit different. But this is so brilliant. Oh my God, this is good. Oh, so we follow a woman who appears to have killed a boy, a kid, who she was taking care of as a nanny. And then, yeah, she's on the run, and you follow her, and she's very zoned out, so very, yeah, disconnected to the world and what's happened. And you really think, well, yeah, if you are like that, I can imagine that you can do things like that. And then more and more you realize that also her husband died in strange circumstances, and also her mother-in-law. And yeah, more and more you realize, well, I'm reading a story of a serial killer, a female serial killer. But then there's the plot twist, and you go like, oh my God, how is this possible? What have I missed? What have I missed? And there's another, so part one is the female voice, and then part two is a male voice. And that is so out of this world, and so new, and so, challenging. And you go like, oh my God, and you can't stop reading. You really cannot stop reading. It is creepy as hell. It is a whirlwind, but it's so brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Blood Wedding. Blood Wedding by Pierre Lemaître, who also wrote The Great Swindler, I think it is. It's about that is also a brilliant book. It's a book about two men who came out wounded of the First World War, and they organize a great swindle where they sell monuments to the villagers who lost their loved ones, but they never deliver. So they only take the money and they sell a fake and non-existent monument. Then I also read a couple strip by Ulf Kvensler, I don't like the English title. I think it doesn't tell enough about what the book is about. So this is a Swedish book. This is my library book. It's called The High North in Dutch. So it's 3 friends, a man and his wife, and his wife's best friend, and each year they go on a hiking week in Sweden, and they do that each year, and they love it, and it goes very, very well. They are really used to each other. They know each other really well. There are no secrets between them, and everything goes well. But suddenly the best friend wants to bring her new boyfriend, who she has met 6 weeks before, something like that. And they go for dinner for one time, and yeah, well, reluctantly the couple says, well, yeah, okay, he can come, but they have a bad feeling about him. He's a little off. And yeah, so they decide to go to the north, but later than previous times they go to the high north, so more September, which instead of July, and September is already more dangerous because of the weather. There are a whole lot less people around. There are less cabins to hide and stuff, so it's way more dangerous. And then the boyfriend wants to go to another part that wasn't foreseen, and where they are supposed to have a satellite telephone to go there. And he said, well, I have one, you can count on me. And yeah, reluctantly they go with him, and then everything goes wrong. So yeah, and also, yeah, the husband is not as fit as he wanted to be. Of course, they are aging too, and the man is quite some years younger. So yeah, he pushes them to the limit, and yeah, that doesn't go very well. It's a very enticing book. It's quite well written. There's a really good pacing. It could have been slightly better, I think. It could have been in the hands of this is a debut, so in the hands of a more experienced author. This could have been a 5-star read, but for me it was a 4-star read, and it was a very good introduction to Ulf Kvensler, Swedish author. So yeah, that's it. I hope you liked this video. I won't edit anything. I will put it up as it is. And yeah, that's it. Talk to you later. I will do tomorrow a video for Classics and Company, because we are in the last 2 weeks of Les Miserables. What a fantastic book. Oh my God, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I also want to introduce the new book, the Pillow Book, that we are going to read next, which is much shorter than the Miserables, which is a feisty 1400 pages. Do you hear the sound? Those are the frogs. There's a little pond just like 25 meters away from me. And I will also do another video, because I have an idea, something I saw on Steve Donahue's channel, and I want to reply a top 10 of best historical movies. Of course, my point of view is a whole lot less American, and there will be quite a few European films, and a Japanese movie has to be in there, in that top 10. Has to be. So yeah, talk to you later. All is well. I hope all is well for you too. And now I will enjoy some sunshine. Bye-bye.